Hey everybody, welcome to Grizzly Specialized. We're just going to do a quick rundown of an oil thermostat install here. We are after this guy right there to replace with that guy right there. Get awesome benefits of the elimination of the thermostat itself. Ton of benefits actually. And these are some of the tools you're going to need. Depending on what you like to drink, coffee, what nicotine you like. I like to smoke, so you do need some sort of bar. And the other big thing is you'll need internal snap ring pliers, like that set right there. Long reach is way better because that internal snap ring inside that oil cooler is a major pain. So I don't know if you can see it, but that's what we're going after, is right in there. So let's get started. All right, so one of the first things we got to do is we've got to either unhook the batteries, or on some setups on the alternator you can actually just pull this wire right here and tape it up. And that's the only hot wire you'll be messing with in the whole system. You don't have to undo anything on the AC compressor. You do have to unplug it so you can move it out of the way, but you don't actually have to discharge it or nothing. You don't have to discharge anything in this motor. You don't have to drain coolant. You lose just a little bit of oil when you pop the cap off, but it's not even nothing to worry about. So let's go unhook that battery and then we'll continue. And on my truck, each truck's going to be a little bit different. I've got a nice easy access door underneath this dirty thing. Just put a 9/16 on it and go to town. I'm not sure what ones I got hooked up here. I just unhooked the negatives on this thing and that's all good. Don't lose your nuts. And after everything's all said and done, I do like to just make sure I've got no power. And then we'll tear into it. So, as you know, most of our products actually have instructions with them. You know, the Hack Nation does send this with all of the thermostats. So we disconnected their batteries and now we're going to loosen the drive belts. And most systems on the isx's and x15s should be the same. The tool you use is your preference. This is all I got, a cheap Harbor Freight tool. Works great. And first thing I'll do is I will get the main drive belt, the big serpentine belt. Just pull it off of the alternator side. Done with that for now, and then we'll pull the other belt, which I believe is a 15 millimeter. Been a while since I've done one of these. Same thing, just loosen it up. Well, and lay that out of the way. You don't actually have to take the belts off. You just leave them lay there. Now we've done that. Third step says remove the alternator. So we will tackle that. With some power tools. And the ground on this one seems to be 10 millimeter. And to make it easy, I always pull the cable, put that little dinky sucker back in its hole a little bit. That way I don't lose it. And the power side is a little bit bigger. A little bit smaller. Oh, come on. That one on mine's a 7/16. And I do the same thing with the nut. Put that back on. There's a couple different style alternators, so depending on which one you got, that's what you have to use. And then pull the alternator off, which not sure what size that is either. 16 millimeter. Grab a little extension here. Get all bound up and have a lot of fun. Just remove the alternator, set it aside. And then it says unbolt AC compressor and set it on the valve cover. Different bolts on that one. 13 millimeter on mine. Those break loose with this one. And before I do that, I'm going to unplug it. Leave that wire hanging. Leave those two wires hanging. Oh, it was 13. And set that out of the way. Remove the main tensioner pulley, which this guy right here, this big one, because we got to get behind all that. And that is also a 13. Let's pull that out, leave the bolt in it, set that aside. All right, now I'm going to move on to step 6. Well, actually, we're going to do 7 first. This bracket right here has got to come off, because this whole bracket right here has got to come off, and there's 5 bolts in the front end of this thing that we have to pull out. So we're going to pull this one first, and then pull all the other brackets out of there. So let's go with, I believe that's a 14 millimeter. Well, on mine it is, because I've had mine tore apart so many times that I have holes actually wore out in this thing. Yours is probably a 13 millimeter, I bet. So pull that out. Actually, I got a nut on the back of that one because that one's wore out so bad. I'm missing the bolt on that one. And then on the fan side, fan shroud side, should be a 13 millimeter. Just like that. Most parts I leave up here on the valve cover. That way I know when I go to put them back. So I believe all these bolts are all 13 millimeter. On some trucks, this is the hardest part, because these suckers have been in here for so long. If you just had your motor rebuilt or the front structure resealed or whatever, they are a little easier to get out. There's 2 on the top. And there's one that's hidden back here behind this pulley. A lot of people forget that one and break a lot of stuff just because of that. And when we remove that tensioner pulley, the main one, there's 2 bolts right behind here that we have to break loose. So I got two just like that. Oh, I think I just did the wrong bolt. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's the right bolt. They should both be the same length, not this little shorty. This little shorty I gotta put back in, otherwise I will forget. I believe again. Oh, let's pull these top three out. Oh. Alright, the top three are all the same size. Like I said, do not forget the one that's on the other side of that pulley. You will fight getting that thing off and eventually break something. You don't want to do that. So, what does our book say here? Oh yes, remove the accessory bracket. That's what we'll do. That's where this comes in handy, or any device. Now your cam sensor's right up here too, so you got to be careful you're not up against that. And just pry it out of the way. Some trucks take a little bit more prying. And this is the accessory bracket that is kind of a pain. And this little guy right here is the one that most people forget. You want to make sure you get that. And it's just when those long bolts actually go into here, it's all aluminum. So anytime steel goes into aluminum, it gets hard to break loose. What we're after though is this plug right here. Now, one thing you can do, which I'm not sure I recommend or not, but this is kind of a homemade 3/4 19 millimeter, whatever, couple nuts welded on or whatever the hell this thing is. It's got me out of a pinch though. This is from Harbor Freight. Used to have a socket end on it, but the socket end interferes with the water pump right here. Some of the 570s, it's even worse because I guess the water pump is taller. And when you do go to do this with the 570s, you should not have to remove the water pump. You might be able to pry the old thermostat out, and then the new ones should have enough fitment where you can slide them in without having to pull everything apart. I haven't got to work on a 570, so I'm not 100% sure. It'd be nice if somebody said something though. So these plugs are sometimes pretty tight. I've actually had to use induction heat on a few of them to get them loose. There's just an O-ring that's holding the plug itself. And that O-ring is the most robust thing on an isx or x15. I've heated that sucker up way hot, and it is held together. So should never ever have to replace them. That's about the oil we lose. This is the O-ring I'm talking about there. Set that aside. Now, our thermostat is way in there. I can't even see nothing in there. But there's a internal snap ring in there. We'll go ahead and pull that out and put the new one in. Alright, so like I said, you need a set of internal snap ring pliers. Kind of like these. Got these from Harbor Freight. Not too expensive. You can use needle nose pliers. Grind them down to where they got a fine tip on them. Kind of like this. The biggest thing is, I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen anything different yet, but every one that I've done that is stock, the snap ring is down like this, and you cannot get it. It's just a huge pain. So what you can do is you can put like a Phillips or something with a point on it, and actually turn that snap ring to where you can get it with a set of pliers. Mine, I'm pretty sure we've already got set up like that. So, oh, I can't even reach it. Let's get in there. Oh, one of the other things you can do too to save yourself some time or some headache is remove your cold air pipes if they're in the way. Anything that's actually in the way, if you can remove it for better accessibility, I would definitely do that. Because sometimes it is a pain just getting in here. Oh, come on. And this might be one of the long processes of actually doing this, is getting that damn snap ring out of there. Oh, come on. Keep hooking on one end of it. All right. So pull that snap ring out. Set that aside. We're going to need that again. Reaching here. Sometimes you can just barely grab it. Sometimes you got to use something to get on it. And pull your thermostat out. Won't be needing that no more. And we're going to install this. Oh yes. This will make my truck happy. Now with that, you can't just reach in and push it all the way in. You actually have to find something to push it in because there's just no room in there. That thermostat, the edge of it actually sits way down here, so you can't reach it. Once in, you want to make sure that it's all the way in. This one is not. And just like that, is installed. Just throw all my stuff on the ground here. Make a nice dirty motor out of it. And some people do break these, getting them out. And I can see why it's a frustrating job. You can get new ones, I'm sure. Once that snap rings in, same thing. Make sure it's all the way in. Just like that. She is in there. And then you can see that. That's what it looks like installed. Well, this camera's not so good on focus here. My eyes aren't so good on focus. One of the two. I bet it's my eyes. So now we got that installed. Go back over here, grab our cap. I'd recommend once you pull this off to actually clean everything off. Anytime you open up an engine anywhere, you introduce dirt. But it does flow from right here to the filter first. So it should catch whatever particles, if they're big. And reverse procedure here. I suppose even a 3/4 Allen wrench would break this loose. Torque to spec. And one of the biggest pain in the asses of doing these is this. Getting it back together. Just getting everything to line up. And I like to do is get one of these started on the bottom side, on the outside. Maybe. Maybe not. Go in your hole. Let's see, that was a 13. Man, I try to get one of these top bolts in here. It's got to go a long way. You don't want to do that on your motor. I'd use the right tool for the right job. A dead blow or something. And it's got to be close. Just like that, we'll put it all back together. All the hard parts are all done. Everything else just miscellaneous from here on in. Fire it up, make sure there's no leaks, which I doubt there is, because that's the only spot we opened up on this system. And once you do this, and you see that oil pressure or that oil temperature gauge, you'll be happy. Come check us out, Grizzly Specialized .shop. Got some good products on there. Check out Hack Nation. We're selling our thermostats for those guys, $4.49 a piece. 100% manufactured out of my hands, thank God. Laser cut, laser welded, coated with micro slick, and good to go. All right, that's it till next time. Thanks.